In order to support our show, we'll need the help of some great advertisers. And in order to find great advertisers, we'll need to learn a little bit more about you. So please go to podsurvey.com/grown and take a quick anonymous survey that will help us get to know you a little better. That way we can show advertisers just how amazing our listeners are. Plus, once you've completed the survey, you can choose to enter for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. You know, we all stay on the Zon. Terms and conditions apply. Again, that's podsurvey.com/grown. Thanks for your help.
Silences, the new album from Adia Victoria, is out now on Canvasback Music. NPR says Adia Victoria captures the spirit of the blues in a simple phrase: Black genius. Silences was produced by Aaron Dessner of The National and is available wherever you get music. Visit Adia, ADIA, Victoria.com for tickets to her Dope Queen World Tour, on sale now.
Got somebody, she is a beauty, very special, really and truly. Take good care of me like it's a duty. Want you right by my side, night and day. Don't letting go, no holding back. Because you are my lady. When I'm with you, it's all of that. Girl, I'm so glad we made it. No holding back.
That makes me think of undergrad.
I know. Same.
Jeez,
my party
man.
days.
Blast from the pizzazz.
That and Too Short's Shake That Monkey.
Oh, that's when it's like, oh, Jay went to school in the South and I did not.
Put a hump in your back and shake your up. Oh, hey.
Praise the Lord, niggas, on that note.
Every day. Praise the Lord, niggas.
What's cracking, man?
Man, I'm just sitting here trying to fight the wind inside.
Welcome back to Getting Grown with Jade and Keia.
What are you over there giggling about?
Because you're drinking.
It's cold, nigga, and I'm drinking tea. I can't control my throat muscles. Sick of you bitches.
Welcome back, man. It's Getting Grown with Jade and Keia, where Jade swallows loudly on the microphone. We also, from time to time, discuss all things adulting. The good, the bad, the ugly, the tests, the trials, the twists, the turns, the temptations, and the taxes, dear God, of being an adult in the year of our Lord, now 2019.
Judgment to you hoes on my throat muscles. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about my swallowing. Do you hear me? I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see a tweet. I don't want to DM. I don't want to hear nothing, okay? A nigga swallows as she does. This is how God made me, and he don't make mistakes.
Help us today. Help us today, God. So, yes. What's going on?
I'm just in the vortex of moving hell. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I know what you're saying.
I'm also paler than usual, so I look like extra tired. And yeah, I am currently cleansing and Marie Kondoing, and
everyone is just following that little Asian lady's instructions.
Cause man, it makes life easy. It's like, oh, little boxes, and I know what's in them. So
like the whole world is Marie Kondoing.
I'm not even. I had to follow the trend this time. I was like, let me just get right on information, because your girl needs to go into her new space organized and cleansed. So
I feel like I would be setting myself up. I feel like I want to do it, but I feel like I'll be setting myself up. Like,
I mean,
because I feel like it would stress me out, and I'm just gonna be like real honest. I feel like it's gonna, I don't know.
Do you see me right now?
I know, but like everybody, like I feel like the process is going to be like, oh my God, like
this.
I just don't know.
But I'm realizing how much junk I was like, if I haven't used it in a year, I'm throwing it out. I can't keep these wedding cards. They're beautiful, and I appreciate everybody who spent their, $5.95 and $6.95 on the good cards. But I just can't keep them no more. I gotta get the baby shower cards were beautiful, but I have to get rid of them. It is time.
I feel like that's fair.
It is time.
It is time. It is time.
How are you?
I'm okay. Working. I feel like the answer doesn't change from week to week, but I'm doing okay. Trying not to put as much pressure on myself as I do.
That's it.
Because the thing is, I work hard all week, and then if I don't do any work on like Saturday or Sunday, like Saturday, what did I do on Saturday? I felt like, Friday I had to sing Friday night. It was like a midnight musical for Black History Month, which actually turned out to be kind of lit.
Ooh.
At first I was like, what time because we didn't arrive at the venue until 10:30, and y'all know I would be well tucked into my sheets at that time.
Whoa, the churches were partying late.
It wasn't even church. It was at the University of Maryland. But it was kind of dope. So I was side-eyeing the situation, me having to be dressed with a fully made face at that hour. I was like, y'all know how old I am? But either way, I went, and it actually turned out to be a really good time. But I got home really late. It was like a midnight musical situation. My group actually ended up being the very, very, very last group on the program. So imagine, getting up to sing at like 1:45. And so by the time I got home, it was like 2 a.m. And I had to, I went to bed. Saturday, I ran a bunch of errands, and I bought my laptop and stuff with me because in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get some work done. But I ended up not doing any work. And
because you didn't need to.
Here, which it felt like the right thing to do in the moment. But what happens is Sunday after church, I look at the clock and I'm like, it's 3:00. I have done nothing. Everything has to be done right now. And I'm like stressing. But I'm going to get my life together one day. It's going to be amazing. You just wait.
Listen, I advocate for you to have a moment where you sit your black ass down somewhere. You be complaining in the group chats. I was not shit today. And we be like, Keia, cuz sometimes you need to be not shit. Like, you need to sit your black ass down somewhere and watch Iyanla. I told Keia the other day, I was like, go to Chick-fil-A and get the big fries and the big lemonade. And get like 12 nuggets instead of 8. And even get yourself an ice dream and go sit on the couch, hide your laptop, and watch Iyanla.
Iyanla was so intense this week. Did you watch it?
Was that the one with the amputated leg?
Yes.
Oh, can we talk about it?
So I just think that
I hate them both.
Miss Jillian. Yeah. I mean, and this is going to sound really harsh. Maybe I shouldn't say this. In my opinion, I don't want Jillian to find this and sue me or anything. In my opinion, Jillian displayed the behaviors of a sociopath.
She did.
And it really disturbed me because the level of control, like she was so controlling and manipulative. And she was totally preying upon Ramon's disability and his insecurities. And I knew it was going to end bad when she was in here, when she was bucking back against Iyanla, which is not uncommon because we see people do that all the time. But I was like, Miss Jillian, girl, it's like we're like 3 minutes in, you questioning the process already. And I literally could see in her body when she disengaged. I'm like, oh, Jillian about to turn up. And I felt like he was sitting there literally like a lump of flesh. I felt like there was no spirit, no soul, no connection, no intention. And he didn't turn up until she approved for him to turn up. And it was clear that she was like feeding him all the things and all the reasons why he should be upset. I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. And I was actually glad when Iyanla pulled the plug.
Me too.
I was like, yo, this is just whack.
I was like, y'all are both assholes and I hate you both. And although it is ultimately her fault because she is like a super bitch.
Who?
Jillian. Miss Jillian. Yeah. Miss Jillian was a super bitch. Like, say what you want. Don't call. No, she was a bitch. Like, she
was not a nice. She was just not a nice girl.
She was trying to control everything he did. Okay, and
literally everything.
And the man got his leg amputated. Like, I understand. The man got his leg amputated a year and some change into their relationship. You know what I'm saying? At this point, you loyal to a nigga, but like now you got to deal with a huge change. I get it. I totally get it. Like, you're a human being. That would be an adjustment for anybody. Now you got to carry all the groceries and do this, that, and the third. However, you don't have to be a bitch about it. And she was.
It was like so mean. Like,
she was.
It was like, girl.
And Iyanla came outside in her doily top and said,
yo, first of all, when she had on that doily top with them black kitten-heeled ankle booties.
All it was missing was like a coffee ring on it.
And with that belt, and she had like a leopard belt. I'm like, yo, she is giving.
This is a mess.
She is like, this is such like auntie fashion.
It is auntie fashion. I was like, my girl went into the nearest Ashley Stewart and said, give me everything.
Literally. She was like, fashion a figure, throw it in the bag. Throw it all in the bag. I'm going to take one of everything.
Everything. But don't give me any of the midriff tops.
And no shade to anybody who wears fashion to figure. I'm not saying that you should not, but I'm just saying that Iyanla pulled all the pieces at one time.
All the pieces of fashion to figure, all of the plus size fashion over,
all of
ASOS curve. Like, she was
in New York and Company. Yes. She was out here in the limited.
Your life.
Yes, at the Ann Taylor in the loft, honey. She was giving all of that.
She went there how? On the Express.
Absolutely. She was like, throw it in the bag. She was like, all of it. I'll take one of everything.
I want to look like the mannequin. With that big
exactly. Whatever she's got on, I'll take them all.
So that is actually not a part of the trash, but
it's not. But yeah, I just was watching Iyanla, and it was supposed to be like self-care, but it turned into stress because those people really wore me out.
And they wore her out, and she was not quiet about it. She was
and I knew when she started doing this, when she started doing the cutting.
That's what we said. We were like, she was like,
we could just cut it right now. She starts clapping them, because you know she from Brooklyn. She was like, we could just cut it. We can cut it right now.
I know Iyanla is so. I know Iyanla claps before she gets dressed. When she looks herself in the mirror, she probably be like, yes.
Listen.
I could go on and on about Iyanla all
She is so Schenectady Avenue.
I'm so
Listen. We can just cut this right now. You know what? We could just cut this right now. I'm like, these hand movements giving me Schenectady.
Like, you don't want to fuck with a lady who was born in the back of a cab.
Yo.
You don't want fool with a lady who was born in the back of a cab.
Listen, to a mother who was 3 sheets to the wind.
If y'all watched her stand up, then you know that is not really when, like, I had to give up the respect, because y'all know how I felt about Rhonda, and I still, think that she's batty as shit, crazy,
but she's fun.
Shit.
She's fun,
but she's fun, and sometimes she's valid.
Sometimes you have to give her her grace.
You got to give her grace. She's like a wise auntie. They don't know everything, but she has got some pieces.
She has some moments.
But we do have trash. So let us get into it.
Okay. Let's do it.
That's my Iyanla voice. All right. Basura, cha-cha time. So R. Kelly turned himself in to the police because he has been found, or he was indicted on 10 counts, I believe, of sexual assault and sex with a minor. After more videotapes surfaced of him engaging in sex with people between the ages of 14 and 16 years old and a 23-year-old. He has since posted bail.
Has he?
And left jail today. He is pled not guilty, and him and his lawyers are saying that every single woman who has made an allegation against him is lying for their own financial gain. But
okay,
tomorrow is Tuesday and the next day is Wednesday. So you know, that's just where that is right now. I just am glad that some sort of movement has been made in trying to put this nigga in the place that he belongs, and that's underneath the jail. So I don't know. Maybe he'll do everybody. Nope, not even gonna say it. I was gonna say maybe he'll do everybody a favor, but anyway, let's just hope that justice is served at some point soon, even though that is a very thin line. So I got a phone call from my sis right before we started recording, which I thought was important to put into the trash. So there are YouTube Kids videos up right now, and I don't know. So I wanted to put this in because I know there are a lot of parents that listen to the show as well. And I understand that we live in a time where no matter how much you may try to keep your kids away from technology and so forth, or you try to keep a control on it, you're not going to be able to control everything. And I know sometimes a lot of our kids in this day watch YouTube Kids. You have to be careful with YouTube. I found that out a while ago because people were putting like weird, sick videos and labeling them as kids videos, so they would fall into the kids category. So I had to do a bunch of filtering and then like put YouTube Kids and do all this stuff. Well, come to find out now, there is some people on the internet who are putting splicing videos. So they're splicing into kids' videos, disturbing images and instructions on suicide tips and school shooting tips. It's like they're telling kids how to cut themselves and so forth and so on.
Sickness.
Listen, people are a different kind of wicked. Like, I can't even understand. I can't even comprehend the level of wicked that you are on because my mind don't even work that way. But in an effort to protect our children, I just thought it was important to put this into the trash for our parents and our aunties and our uncles. And, you know, if you have your kids, let's say Noah, we went to DC and Noah's over at Kia's house and wanted to keep herself occupied with the iPad. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect Keia to sit there and watch a YouTube video. And it's so sad that we've gotten to a point where I know we need to monitor what our children are doing, but now we have to literally like really pay attention to what your children are doing. And that's something you need to be doing anyway. Right. So, and I know that a lot of times a lot of parents have let electronics babysit the children just out of convenience, just out of the fact that they have a lot of things to do. A lot of our parents are stressed, and it's an easy way for you to be able to set your kids up and keep them quiet. But we have to really pay attention to what our kids are watching and what they're taking in, because there are some really sick and wicked people in the world. But let's move on to something positive. The Oscars.
Please. Yes.
Oh my gosh. It was a Black History Month.
I feel like the Lord knew that we needed a break.
He did. He did.
And he was like, let me just go ahead. And because, I mean, haven't we suffered enough, Jesus?
We have had a month. So Boss Man finally won his first Oscar.
I mean, I think the whole world can join. We can all join together in a resounding about time. Long
overdue. He did not win for Best Director, but he did win for Best Adapted Screenplay for BlacKkKlansman. So, you know, he has put a lot of time in, and it's time to give him his flowers.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you are a fan or not, it's time to give the man his flowers because he's worked hard.
Yes.
I watched the man work hard. You know what I'm saying? He's not always my favorite person in the world, but
oh my God.
But I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I had to send him a text today and I was like, yo, I know your phone is blowing up like crazy, but congrats. Like, Brooklyn represent. And he was like, much love, Jade. So I was, congratulations to him. We have Brenda.
I know.
Brenda won an Oscar.
Brenda's grown up, and I just think that I just couldn't be more pleased, honestly.
I'm very happy for her. I'm trying to make sure that I get all of the names correct.
Regina King.
Regina King won, obvious, but we must, she's always Brenda. Dustin kept calling her Brenda from 227.
That's who she is.
That is who she is.
She too. She's got to accept that. That's just what her name is now.
And then we have our beautiful ladies who won for the costume design for Black Panther.
Indeed.
So it was just a good night for Black people. It was just a good night for people of color. It was a good night for people of color.
Agreed. Mahershala
won. He got up there with his beanie.
I was like, this is so African American.
He was like, I'm not taking my do-rag off.
And I won't. And I want one of you to say something to me. Thank you so much.
He got up there in his beanie, you know what I'm saying? Did not give a fuck. And, looked good doing it. So Mahershala, we have Regina, we have the two ladies from Black Panther, we got Boss Man. Who else won?
I don't know. I just skipped seeing the pictures of like all the people, but I don't know names.
And everybody looked beautiful. And then what touched my heart, it wasn't like a big blown up thing, but there were two Mexican ladies sitting in the audience. And I'm not even going to fake the funk and act like I know what they were in. But I read a little story on them today, a little article. It was a mother and a daughter from Mexico. And they're from deep. They're from deep in Mexico. And the daughter is a pre-K teacher and the mother is a domestic worker. I think she cleans. And they were sitting there like in full camera range at the Oscars. And I just thought that was beautiful. So the Oscars it wasn't even something that I would normally watch, but it was Jennifer Hudson got up there loud.
I'm sure of it.
We turned the TV down immediately. She covered her knees.
Thank God, because you know how those knees wear me out.
What she did not cover on the red carpet was her feet. Sis. Now, I am not going to corn shame because I understand that they can be hereditary. And
Jenny.
I understand they can be hurt, but and there are people who wear heels all the time. Like shoes rub, things happen, age happens. You get a lot of money. There's ways to be able to fix things. However, I'm not going to corn shame because I get it. But fam, you got to get a pedicure before you go on the red carpet. You got a whole slit up the thigh. I'm telling you.
You're telling me that.
And I am telling you.
You're telling me that Jennifer's corns were visible?
Sis, all 5 of them on all the toes.
5?
Plus,
wait a minute.
It was literally like a cord for every toe.
No.
Like you get a cord and you get a cord and you get a cord. And then...
At what point do you just say, I will put on closed-toe shoes for the rest of
Well, everybody knows that Sierra puts her hand and feet out everywhere. And like, she don't care about her dancing. She's like, I have danced for these corn feet hands. Yes. But, however, she at least gets a pedicure on her corn feet hands.
What do we do now?
Jenny did not even get a pedicure. And that's why I was like, fam, like... You didn't even get a pedicure? You didn't even get them painted?
No, you're telling me she had bare toes?
Bare toes, sis.
I do not believe this.
You look it up. I guarantee if you Google Jennifer Hudson's feet, it's going to be one of the first images you see.
I'm having a very hard time wrapping my brain around this. Because you cannot tell me. You cannot...
I saw them close up and personal.
I'm struggling with this.
Did you see them? Jennifer Hudson's feet. And, whoa. This is a lot of feet images. Okay. I spy a Sierra toe. Oh, but
Jesus.
Jennifer Hudson, Oscar.
I can't believe that we're Googling this.
Feet.
Oh my God, it came up.
Oh, there they go. There they go.
Some young man has made a whole YouTube video The title is Jennifer Hudson Gets Roasted for Corns on Feet. Oh, Savior God. Jennifer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your girl was out here, literally.
Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
I am perplexed.
So that was the Oscars. There was no host because everybody knows Kevin Hart refused to apologize. So,
I mean,
and it actually wasn't missing a host.
You know what? Maybe this is the direction we'll be headed in from now on.
Because, you know, sometimes them hosts get up there and they're real good, and then sometimes they're awkward. And, you know, we had some good presenters. You had Tina Fey, Maya Rudolph, and Amy Poehler got up there, and that was funny. that was funny, especially when Maya Rudolph imitated Lady Gaga. I'm on the deep end.
Oh God.
Anyway, that's enough about the Oscars. Oh, in sad news, T.I.'s sister Precious passed away.
Yes, I did see that. Rest in heaven, Precious.
Yeah, she was she was in ICU after a tragic car accident.
Well, there was a car accident, and I understand that she had an asthma attack that was triggered by the car accident and passed away as a result of those complications. So super sad. We love Precious. Was always just a refreshing breath of fresh air when we had to watch the family hustle. She always, we always appreciated how she would just continue to always get T.I. together.
Absolutely. Always.
And she was always just like, no. Like, no. And we will forever miss her.
Absolutely.
But yeah, rest in peace. And, you know, definitely our prayers and thoughts and well wishes during this sad time go to, you know, T.I.'s family.
Word. And they seem to, you know, I don't think there's any such thing as handling a loved one passing well or not well, but they seem to be celebrating her life from what I've noticed with their posts and things. So,
awesome.
But absolutely what Keia said, you know, all the prayers and all of the peace with them right now during this time.
Straight like that.
So I wasn't even going to say nothing about this, but this Jordan Woods situation.
I don't know who that is.
That's the little black girl who hangs around Kylie Jenner. I know. And so, you know, there was a thing going where it said she was found or something. TMZ reported she was making out with Khloe's husband, Tristan, at a house party. Right?
What?
Yes. So now people are trashing this girl, calling homewrecker, all kinds of things all over the internet. I don't believe anything when it comes to that family. And people have asked me in the DMs and they sent messages and all kinds of things. Can you please? And I'm like, I don't believe anything. I just want to make it very clear. And then I probably won't say much else about these people. They are like a novella to me. And I just turn them off. I don't believe anything that I see, read, or hear. I do believe that Kanye is still dead. And that's pretty much the long and the short of it. So I don't really have much of an opinion on this story outside of the fact that I just don't believe nothing that comes from them. I don't believe nothing is genuine. I believe everything in their life is staged and blocked, from how they fall asleep at night to how they brush their teeth. It is all produced by Ryan Seacrest. And then lastly, Queen Latifah.
Oh, Dana.
Dana is investing $1.4 million into an affordable housing project in her hometown of Newark, New Jersey.
Come on, Brick City.
I wanted to close the trash out with something positive, and I thought that was beautiful. So, yes, please. I'm so glad that she's putting something into her hometown of Newark, New Jersey. And
I can respect it.
I respect so much so. So much so. So shout out to Dana. She's a real one. And that is it for the trash this week.
My sister's popping right now, like.
So we have a shout out this week. and it is long overdue. So Keia and I actually got a copy of a children's book at one of our live shows from a listener.
I think it was at the Friend Zone Live when we were
Was it Friend Zone Live?
Yeah, that's when we got it. I actually wore the t-shirt yesterday now that we're thinking about it.
Ooh, I didn't get no t-shirt.
Yes,
but
you did. She gave us both a t-shirt and a book.
Oh, you're right. I did get a t-shirt.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
My brain is bad. But Aisha Rice, shout out to Aisha Rice for my kinky coily hair. So just a little snippet. Naomi is an African-American girl struggling with accepting her natural hair texture. Can a trip to her grandma's help her to take pride in her kinky coily hair? So my kinky coily hair is obviously a children's book about loving and appreciating the curls and the kinks that we have grown on top of our head and that God has given us. So you can find a little bit more information on Instagram at my kinky coily hair book, and then also diversestoriesinaBottle.com. And it is also available on Amazon. And we'll be sure to put all of that information into the description box. And we just want to say thank you to Aisha. I really want to say thank you I love collecting books like this for Noah. I think they're super important, and I make it a personal mission for her to accept and love her Black girlness. So
straight like that.
Things like this are very important to me, and this is important to the work, and I love that you're doing this. And so you guys make sure that you go support. Again, all of the information will be in the description box.
Right on.
Let's move on to the kitchen table.
This weather can be confusing for your body. You've bundled up in the cold, but after running around all day, you realize you've been sweating out under your layers, child. Keep it fresh and clean this winter with coconut deodorant from Kapari. Kapari's coconut deodorant is aluminum-free, vegan, and does not contain silicone, sulfates, parabens, GMOs, or baking soda. It's a cleaner option that works just as well. Kapari's coconut deodorant is formulated with plant-based actives like sage oil and coconut oil, so you stay fresh all day. It goes on smooth and doesn't leave behind a sticky white residue on your black clothes, because we all know that everybody hates that. Along with the original coconut scents, Kapari now offers a fragrance-free version for you girls who don't want to walk around smelling like Tahitian Street. Plus, they have 2 new scents, one called Beach and the other one called Gardenia. With Kapari's subscription, deodorant is shipped to you as often as you choose, automatically and for the free. They also offer a money-back guarantee should you be sweating and you're not impressed with Kapari. So, I enjoy Kapari. And y'all, I used to swear by the degree because it kept me going strong. But Kapari, I enjoy Kapari because it's a light and fresh scent. It's not sticky. It doesn't mess up my clothes. And I get to walk around smelling like a Bahama Bay breeze. Even when you get a little glisten, a little dewy, your sweat even smells better.
Who's that Bahama mama?
Exactly. So go to KapariBeauty.com/grown to make the safe switch today. And you save $5 whole off your first order when you subscribe. That's Kapari, KOPARI Beauty.com/grown, KapariBeauty.com/grown.
Do you have a bunch of stuff lying around the house that you just don't use, like myself right now while I'm moving? A pair of jeans that was only worn once, an old phone hiding in a drawer somewhere, something that you found in a coat. Mercari is an app you can use to sell all of this stuff. They make it fast and easy to sell almost anything. Simply take a few pics of your stuff, add a description, and boom, your item is listed. Once it's sold, Mercari emails you a shipping label and you just send it off. No meetups with strangers, no hassles for all you awkward girls. With Mercari, you can sell everything from fashion to electronics and toys to sporting goods. Over 100,000 items get listed on Mercari every day. Earn a few extra dollars and clear up valuable space in your home with Mercari. The app has over 300,000 reviews on the App Store with an average 4.8 star rating, so why not give it a try? I love a rating. Don't let that stuff you don't use go to waste. Sell it, ship it, and get paid with Mercari. You can find Mercari on the App Stores or on Mercari.com. MERCARI, Mercari, the selling app.
All right, boys and girls, it's time to gather around the kitchen table for another riveting conversation about how adulting is a scam. So let's get to it. So I had a shout out to my barber, Joe. Everybody say, hey, Joe the barber.
Hey, Joe the barber.
Joe and I always just, not intentionally, but we always just end up having very deep and existential conversations as she cuts my hair. And, just kind of about like, navigating adulting. Mm-hmm. And not because of the show or just about anything else, but, we really just connect over the challenges that we have, navigating parent dynamics, relationship stuff, dating stuff, friends stuff. And we were talking this past Saturday, and just about kind of one of the characteristics of adulting, or the activity that really solidifies the fact that we are grown now is the intentionality behind our decision making, and really about like self-awareness. And we've talked about before how as you mature through your life when you're coming up, a lot of who you are and how you exist in the world is a function of how you're told or encouraged or socialized or rewarded for thinking and behaving. Mm-hmm. So one of the hallmarks of being an adult then is the capacity to make your own decisions, mm-hmm. And do so from a place of intentional like reflection. Mm-hmm. And not just, kind of because it's what you're supposed to do. So, kind of like how we it's easy to get caught up in the busyness of being an adult, how you have to like pay your bills and meet your deadlines and be where you're supposed to be and do what you're supposed to do, that you can kind of be on autopilot sometimes, mm-hmm. to whereas you are not as thoughtful as you should be about what is motivating and guiding and directing your thoughts and actions. And are you living intentionally in a way that aligns with where you want to be? So that led me to the interwebs to really just do some thinking and reflecting and researching about self-awareness. And I found lots and lots of resources and information that highlighted the ways that cultivating a level of self-awareness is really optimal for your success and your personal success and realizing your purpose and your passion. So I know that that's an activity that I'm not as disciplined in kind of checking myself, mm-hmm. and checking in with myself. So I thought it would be dope if you and I had a conversation about the ways that we are and are not self-aware, and maybe do like answering some like reflective questions on the air as a basis for thinking about ways that we might need to change our behavior to make sure that we are aware of our progress towards the life that we want to lead. So if you know that, so as an example, if you know that career-wise, like, that you eventually want to be in a position where you are a self-sustaining chef. Mm-hmm. And that's so are you in your daily decision-making, considering how your behavior is either facilitating or pushing you toward that goal, or distracting you from that goal, and as a result, like your happiness. So I was talking to my coworker today about it, mm-hmm. And like I don't really know that I have like a framed out like, and I'm not suggesting that I know how to do this, but I thought that we could figure it out together in terms of like, if we believe, well, I believe that self-awareness is important and it's central. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you kind of like existing in this like zombie state where you're just kind of working, to kind of get things done. versus, you know, what are the ways that you are in your daily life crafting your pathway to your ultimate purpose. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Self-awareness is so important. It's so important in your relationships and how you deal with other people, how you move in your life personally with your personal decisions. And like you said, your decisions as they relate to your passion and your purpose.
And it's like a level of accountability for me, because it's like, I actually, and Joe and I talked about how you reach a point where you take a look at your life and what you do on a day-to-day basis, or what comes naturally to you. What are your common practices? And when you start asking yourself, like, why do I do it? And why do I do it like that? A lot of times for me, it was like, you know, well, that's because that's the way that my mama did it, or that's the way that I saw it done, or that's the way that, you know, whatever model that I'm working towards, rather it being because I believe that this is going to, you know, get me closer to a goal or something that I'm aspiring toward, whether that be in my personal life, in my professional life, in the way that I relate, you know, in friendships, romantically, et cetera, et cetera. What are the ways that I'm moving? What are the things that I'm doing or not doing? And being responsible to that, right? The self-awareness and owning what are the things that bring me joy and peace? What are the things that get on my nerves? What are the things that, you know, that trigger me, that, you know, cause me to pop off, versus being more thoughtful in my response. I think it's essential for you to have that level of awareness, especially for those who may be pursuing relationships and partnerships and having qualities. Because that's what Joe and I were talking about. Like, you know, it's oftentimes as women, we see, you know, people have these lists of, this is the kinds of man that I want. This is the kind of relationship that I want. This is the kind of partner that I want. And we list out all these things. And if we were to hold ourselves to that standard, I wonder if we would measure up in the ways that we are out here rolling our necks about. So like, is it okay for me to say, I want my husband got to be debt free when I'm not? Like, it's like, you know, right. So like, I feel like, you know, I thought it would be dope for us to just have a conversation and even just start in really small ways, just even becoming aware of, you know, what motivates us, or what, So I feel like I'm rambling, so.
I know. I think it's a very important conversation because, like I said, it relates to so many things in how you move in your life, whether it be like your relationships, your romantic relationships, your friendships, your family relationships, and then your relationship with yourself as well.
Right.
So let's get into your question now.
Indeed. I think, because I think we talk a lot about minding your business, but I feel like there's more to it than just not being nosy.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, I'm thinking about like when Fury says all the time, like, you got to mind the business that God gave you.
Yes. Yeah.
Mind the business that God gave you. And I have personally caught myself being hemmed up or worried about what somebody else has done, or how someone has reacted or moved in a way that is inconsistent with how I would have done it. And been focused on that person and judging and blaming them, when in fact, if I were to mind my own business and be conscious of, you know, my own shortcomings, limitations, pressure points, pain points, those kinds of things, then I have plenty of my own business to mind, such that I will not be consumed with worrying about what others are doing or not doing. So I could be worried about why, you know, niggas don't do what they supposed to do, or I could be worried about why does it bother me so much?
Right, when it won't have anything to do with you, and sometimes it does have something to do with you, but it's something that you can't control.
Right.
So. I have a lot to say about that.
Indeed, but we're gonna get into it. We're gonna actually exercise minding our own business.
Yes,
by getting into some of these questions.
So, a lot of times too, when you're not minding your own business, you minding somebody else's, The problem is you, because nobody's minding your business. Nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing. You just worried about everybody else.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I'll start with this one. Do you know what helps or facilitates your productivity? Like, are you clear? Like, what needs to be in place for you to be productive? And what does productivity look like for Jade? What's a productive day for Jade?
A blunt.
No. I knew it was coming.
Because you know me so well.
No, a
productive day for me. Today was actually a really productive day. A productive day is actually a day where I can work from home. Because a day where I work from home and I actually get a lot done. So, I got to get Noah to the schoolhouse because ain't nobody else going to do it. So we got to get her to the schoolhouse. And then afterwards, I had to make it over to the Home Depot and go get myself some boxes and some materials and things like that. Went, got my pick, made sure I ate because I'm really bad about eating during the day. I fed myself. And then I got back to the crib and I just got started like packing up boxes. And before I knew it, half the living room was packed. And
Did you have a plan? Did you have music? Did you have, like, were you talking on the phone? Like, what were the things that contributed to you just kind of moving through?
Sometimes, so it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I like to turn on the music because, the musica will get me going. You all know I love the musica. And so a lot of times I'll put on a good playlist. I love an auntie playlist when I am being productive in the house. Like, something about it just is very motivating, whether I be cooking or cleaning. But then sometimes I find that I don't want to listen to music, which is weird for me. And I want to turn on the TV, and that will also motivate me because then I'll be getting into a show, and next thing I know, I've gotten half of a room of something done. So I turned on the TV for a little bit, and while I packed up and watched Love After Lockup again, and got things done. But I know that it's hard a lot of times to motivate ourselves, and it's really hard for me sometimes to motivate myself, especially because there's so much to do.
Right.
I'm so tired when I have a second, it turns into an irresponsible hour. And it's just nice to celebrate ourselves when we have days of productivity, because we're going to have days of ain't shitness as well.
Well, that's great awareness, because that's the truth.
Like, it just is what it is. What does a day of productivity look like for Keia?
I think the things that
EIA.
Yes, indeed. I think that productivity is really wins motivate me. So if I structure the day such that I am keeping a good track of what needs to be done and what I've accomplished, being able to kind of see that I'm moving through my list at a pace really helps me. I find now that I'm often distracted by all of the multiple responsibilities. Like I'm often like, while the list helps me, sometimes it can overwhelm me. And I really have to check in with myself to figure out what kind of day it's going to be. So if I make a list at the start of the day, and let's say I get to my desk and hey Pipes,
I know.
If I get to my desk and I make a list at the start of the day, and by the time I get through my list is 22 things on it, I'm then stressed out. So what I will do is I'll chunk the list in half, or I will hit my friend on GChat and say, I got this massive to-do list. And how about you want to set some accountability goals? So let's check back in with each other in an hour and a half, and let's see, what we've accomplished. And if we haven't accomplished what we want to accomplish, we'll strategize together with what we need to do to kind of get through the list, and we hold each other accountable. So I will check, him about his stuff, and he'll check me about mine. So I'm speaking specifically about my work husband, Dr. Taylor. So yes. It is.
What in the
those
hell
kinds
is wrong with you?
I don't know. It sounds like the Fast and the Furious is going on outside your door.
It's not even warm enough to be doing all of that.
It's not. But yeah, those kinds of things kind of facilitate my productivity.
Mm-hmm.
Music helps. I'm thinking about playing around with the apps. I think there are some apps that are like you. It's like I can't think of the name of it, but it's like you can set it on your phone or your computer to where it's like a timed. It's like for the next 30 minutes, I'm gonna do this, and it will kind of.
Oh yes,
I can't think
those
of those
intention apps. There's a bunch of them.
And also structuring breaks, giving myself a bit of a reprieve during the day. So like today, I was working. This meeting I got to do in Phoenix, I was getting the agenda and the meeting materials together, and was kind of just really like deep down in that all morning. So I told myself I'm going to get to a place where I can stop, and I'm going to go get me a Subway sandwich, and I'm going to sit at my desk, and I'm going to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville while I eat my lunch. That's going to be my treat. So like having a little reward, a little break. It's super helpful in that way.
Is because I definitely take my breaks. I do them after a certain time. I like what you said too about how the reaction to the to-do list, because I think it just depends on what kind of mood you're in. And like you said, you just got to check yourself and kind of see how you feel in that day. Mm-hmm. It is a big motivation when I do things and like I can say, oh, I got this done. Oh, I got this. Today was one of those days. And then I have days where I'm like, I'm not going to get through any of this shit. I have this and I have this. And it's about your mentality. And it's okay for you to have them days where you feel like that, where it's hard to get through, but you'll feel better when you push through. And it's also okay to take a break.
Right.
All of this balance.
So much duality. So that was a bit more of a practical question, but I'm going to get a little bit more abstract.
Okay.
So, think about something work related or goal related or whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's say you're working on a project. If something was to happen that would piss you off or distract you, what would that be? What could throw you off? What throws you off throughout your day?
What throws me off to the point where I just don't want to do nothing?
Where it's like, I'm over this. I'm not doing it no more.
That gets me to that level. It would have to be like a... Wow. What throws me off?
Nothing. You just be out here.
No, I don't actually. I don't. The problem is that I'm so easily distracted.
Well, that's a distract. Okay, so maybe it is like distractions. Like, so is it like the variety of tasks that you have to do that you can't focus on one thing at a time?
I think that's what it is. Like sometimes I feel, because I try to we always talk about prioritizing, right? And in life we talk about prioritizing and let me put the most, the thing that's the most time sensitive at the top. But sometimes you got like 10 time sensitive things and it gets overwhelming. And then I'll have moments where I can get through 10 of those time sensitive things and it's like, all right. And then moments where it's like, I will shut down and none of those 10 time sensitive things will get done. And I think that's a big thing for me, is that I can get easily distracted because I have a bad habit of not breaking up my tasks, which I know I need to do. That was actually part of what made this day so good, is that I made a plan and then I started breaking it up. And when I realized like, okay, if I do a little bit at a time, I can get a whole lot more done. And even though I know that, it's just hard sometimes because prioritizing is hard as an adult, because sometimes you got a whole lot of priorities. But I do have a problem with getting easily distracted. And then next thing I know, nothing got done.
So why do you think, or what would you, if you had to think about it for a little bit, what could you point to something as the origin of your distraction?
Sometimes it's just straight up and down procrastination. If I'm gonna just keep it funky, like sometimes I just poor time management. I I have a bad habit of thinking I can get something done in a really short amount of time, not giving myself enough time. And again, a lot of that comes from being overwhelmed because there's so many other things that I have to get done. Mm-hmm. So I won't manage the proper amount of time for that particular whatever it is in that moment, whether it be writing nigga piece theater for Jade and XD or reading a book for Getting Grown's book club. But and I know it's going to get done, and it always gets done. And every single time I tell myself, the next time, don't put that pressure on yourself, dummy. If you would just literally start a little bit earlier and take a little bit of time each day and do this thing, then you won't get to that level. But here we are. But I do think that's a big root of some of my issue is procrastination and being overwhelmed and not properly managing my time and my tasks.
That's real. I know for me, I'm thrown off by the unexpected. Especially if I am done what I feel like is my due diligence around like being like having a plan, being committed to like, oh, okay, I'm out here. I made my plan. I'm working with it. Mm-hmm. The things that come up that you don't see coming, emails, somebody asking you to kind of like shift gears and focus on this now, getting some feedback that I wasn't expecting. Those things can really take me from, winning the day to just being like, I'd like to start all over. Mm-hmm. And I think if I were to think about what the origin of that is, it's really about like fear when I'm out of control. Mm-hmm. Or when I am not in control, I guess, of what's going on. And thinking more about like just the things that I got some feedback on a document one time. I think I talked about this before, and I really, it just really I took it so personally.
Took it hard, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like before I knew it, I was all the way in the delves of my feelings. Like, oh, everything is terrible. I'm horrible. I can't do this. And it didn't take long for me to get there. When I really sat and thought about it, it was like, is this coming? My boss gives me feedback not because she thinks I'm dumb and not because she's trying to call me out or embarrass me, but because she wants me to be better. And at times I really have to remind myself of that. And I don't know I have to continue, I guess, to work in therapy or however else. I have to work through why that is my instinctual response. But I am trying in that to be more aware of what that trigger is and getting ahead of it. Well, not ahead of it, but being more conscious of it such that I can pull myself back out of my feelings quicker. And even like, operating from fear instead of faith or hope. If I say that I believe that, I am where I'm supposed to be, because, I feel like the job that I have is where God put me. Mm-hmm. And God's not going to set me up. So he put me there because he knew that I could succeed. I shouldn't be completely thrown if somebody says, well, maybe you could think about it this way, or maybe you can frame that sentence this way. It doesn't mean that I have missed the mark and I don't deserve. more than it means that, oh, maybe I could just think about this differently.
That's why I was so proud and gave you your flowers the other day when that lady hit your car and you were like,
I know.
I just have a lot of things to do. I'm grateful that she told me that she hit my car. And when I tell you, because Keia will be like, everything sucks. The world is out to get me.
A wall slide. I will go from 0 to total calamity in about 60 seconds.
She's like, everything, the Armageddon is coming. We're in the vortex. And it's all because I spelled this word wrong.
Exactly. I just messed up. I messed up.
Sis, it's
okay.
I just wasted my whole afternoon. Like, it's all right.
But
You literally like you've been doing well, and I'm proud of you for that. But we all have that. We have moments where we be kicking the shit out of ourselves, right into a circle.
Yeah,
and I think it's important that we have people in our lives who put those mirrors up in front of us and let us see that it's okay to make certain mistakes, and that we just have to figure out how to hold ourselves accountable so that we don't do something that way the next time. But not beat ourselves up so much, because we're human. We're going to have different reactions based off of how we're feeling in that moment.
Dope and absolutely true. Do you know what motivates you? What keeps you going?
Yeah, that little person out there.
ASAP Noah.
ASAP Noah is the one, because there are, if I didn't have her, if I didn't have to get up and take her to work and I could work from home, do you know how little I would get done? It's actually quite a blessing that I have to like get up, and I do have to go into my office, but it's a blessing that I have to get up and like get her somewhere, because that makes me have to get up and get myself somewhere and make myself do things. So she's a big motivation. And you touched on it earlier. When I actually get things done, when I really complete chunks of my to-do lists and tasks that I know that I've been needing to do, and it's just time, because I am a doer. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm tired or what have you, I am a doer. Like, that is one strength that I have. I will roll my sleeves up and get it done because it just needs to be done. And I think that's a big motivation for me. Things just need to be done, and it makes sense that I just need to go ahead and do them. And when I start getting things done, it gives me more motivation to continue to complete things. It just starts to feel good, like to cross things off of my list and to be responsible. Honestly, it feels good when you're actually responsible and you like do the things that you're supposed to do. It's a big motivation for me when I realize that I put some organization into my life and put some things and some structure into place, and like I start to see the benefits of it. When I start to see the benefits of those things, like working on my credit score for the last year, it's now gone up 100 points.
Hey,
that is a big motivation for me to continue to take. I mean, obviously I'm in a different place in my life than when I first got credit, but that's a really big motivation for me to continue to get it to a really strong place and not to abuse it and to appreciate it and so forth. So when I start to do the things that I'm supposed to, it continues to motivate me to want to do that. What about you?
I am motivated by I want to this is gonna sound really corny. I'm motivated by learning.
That's not corny at all.
I think that because I remember it was one of my early classes in undergrad. And I think it was like my first psychology class, and my professor was saying you can like really smart people are able to explain really complex things very directly and clearly. And he uses the word like parsimony in talking about like how it's important to, or Occam's razor, like the concept of Occam's razor, like being comprehensive in the way that you think and explain and do things. And I love learning things, and I study really complex organizations and systems and organizational behavior, individual behavior, how it informs organizational behavior. And one of the main things that drives me as a researcher is that what we learn through our research is not just limited to just kind of that scholarly space, but how is it that I can kind of take this big concept of like something like intersectional identity or organizational change, and how do I explain it to somebody who is on the ground doing the work in a manner that will motivate them and empower them and equip them to do their job better? And that's what drives me. And I think that, and I can see that work even in what we do on the podcast, right? So like, it's about how we like this big, messy, unwieldy concept or idea of being a responsible adult, right? How do we around the kitchen table, kind of think through the complexity of being aware of, the things that drive you and motivate you. So thinking about how the things that we're learning day to day, how to kind of package them in ways that inspire other people to learn and change and grow. And I see that, I think that's a common thread that links, my professional scholarly work to the podcast, to Teen Type and Fast, to, even like the stuff that we do when we get invited to speak, or on Twitter, when we do these panels, we go to these conferences, we're literally just talking about our experiences and using that as a lens for helping people to think about things differently and not feel alone, and to build community and support. That's the kind of stuff that motivates me. And I'm grateful that my life is kind of orchestrated in a way where I get to do that kind of work in many different venues, and that kind of work is not limited to just certain spaces. Because I think what inspires me is that I don't fit neatly into one box, right? So I remember, and I don't know if I told this story on the podcast, but when we first started tweeting, somebody who I went to school with commented on my Twitter. Well, she didn't at me. She just kind of said on her Twitter, it was like my first subtweet, right? And she was essentially saying you need to decide what you want to do. Either you're going to be a scholar, or you're going to talk about hood rat TV, or you're going to talk about makeup. You can't do it all.
Why not, bitch?
And I was like, no, beloved, you can't do it all. I can do whatever I want. Because I am equal parts, all things. You know what I'm saying? I am just as much door knocker as I am pearls. I think that...
Who was this trollop?
We don't have to call her a trollop. We just saw things differently.
Pussy.
The thing is,
that ain't no seeing things differently. That sound like a hating ass bitch.
I am motivated. I am motivated by stepping outside the box and changing the game. The game says that I can't be, I can't be churchy and nerdy and fly and sophisticated and sexy at the same time, because I have to pick one. I can't, I either have to be all church all the time. I have to be all nerd all the time. My Twitter can only be about what I'm publishing and what I'm writing. I don't believe that, because that's not my life. There's lots of intersections in my identity, and all of who I am informs how I see the world and how and the lens through which I present my work. So why would I compromise? You know what I'm saying? I can talk about Iyanla with the same scholarly aptitude as I can talk about, organizational change, or what we can do to facilitate transformational change at the organizational level. So, all that stuff, really long-winded, I'm so sorry, but all that's what inspires me. Pushing back against the boxes that people put you in, that inspires me. Feeling like, my trajectory doesn't look like yours, but I'm still going. Those are the things that kind of push me and motivate me. And when I am discouraged or overwhelmed, those are the things that I try to call back to my mind so that I can keep going. So all that to say, we'll wrap up, but I just feel like this is maybe the start of another conversation, but I just feel like we all got a lot of our own business to mind.
Yeah, part B is called the nerve, because... Yeah. I just don't... People really just be hating for no reason.
You still on it, sis. That was just an example. It was just one example. I know,
but it was honest and it was real. And it's true, because when I sit there and I think about myself in the same facet, I'm not a scholar, but I can sit there and have a conversation with you and your friends.
You can.
You know what I'm saying?
You do.
And I can be a mom, but I can also put her to bed and go roll a blunt. And guess what? It doesn't mean that I'm a bad mother. I can advocate for cannabis, and I can also make sure my kid gets to school every day. Yeah. And I can, be a feminist, I guess, in whatever form you want to call it. And then I can make my husband a plate at the same time. all of these things can coexist. And also being able to cross these barriers from a digital space and incorporate the food and not have to take it on a traditional route and cater your, cousin's baby shower. Like it's nice to be able to put ourselves into all these different boxes and to be able to explore different avenues of ourselves. And bitches need to quit hating. But we can't wrap up.
No, I mean, I think that the thing is about all of those differences and nuances and the idiosyncrasies. I like that word. Of what makes us us. Mm-hmm. And to tie in the self-awareness piece again, what makes me really feel like an adult is that I am able to, not that I would need to justify, but I am able to I can offer a reason. I am able to reason and support. And from a very thoughtful place, I know why these things are important to me. Mm-hmm. I know that all of these things inform who I am, and I'm able to be resolute and uncompromising about those things because I know that they are very important to me. And that only came through a level of being aware of what's important to me, mm-hmm. and not just doing what is assigned for me to do or what is suggested for me to do, but rather just kind of being out here like, this is who I believe that God made me to be. This is the work that I believe that he gave me to do. So if you don't understand it, or if it's too big for your mind to kind of wrap around, then that's not my bag to carry. That's yours. And I don't have to change that. And not saying that I have, I'm above reproach. I'm definitely learning and growing and reshaping and refining what that means every day and how that shows up every day. But I'm grown because I know that this is who I am. And this is what this means for me.
I love it. Yes, that is a closing. That is a closing. That is a conclusion.
Oh man! I mean, I just knew that.
Not a collusion.
Shut up. After I had that conversation with Joe, I've been thinking all weekend about I'm like, we really need to. How do we? That's really the business of being a grown person.
That's it.
Right? That's like minding my business means I know my business and it's mine and I'm content within it. I don't got to worry about what's going on in your business.
I think part B needs to be that we need to talk about self-awareness as it pertains to dealing with other people and how we function in relationships with other people with self-awareness and with a lack of self-awareness and how that can affect other people. But we can definitely take that right on into next week because we have an honesty box to get into.
Okie doke. Let's get into it.
All right. Imagine if you could chat with doctors anytime from your phone, get prescribed online, and get birth control delivered straight to your door every month with automatic refills. Heaven. Enter Nurex, the game-changing company that's here to make getting birth control easier. Nurex offers end-to-end care without ever having to leave your home. It means paying for fewer doctor's visits, skipping pharmacy lines, and no more forgetting to pick up your refill every month. Plus, if you don't have insurance, it's the most affordable option out there. And if you do have insurance, it could be completely free. Just go to their website or their app to answer a few health questions for their certified doctors. They carry over 50 brands of birth control, so you can choose your go-to, or their medical team will help you find the best option for you. It's all safe and secure and HIPAA compliant. Go to nurx.com/grown for a $20 credit and get birth control at your doorstep in less than a week. That's nurx.com/grown.
Honestly? Truly.
Ooh, let's get into some honesty.
Truliness.
Hey, Keia, spelled correctly, and Jade.
All right. That's it. Respect my gangster.
We're going to give her a pseudonym. Her name is going to be...
Essentia.
Essentia. You know why? Because the hood loves Essentia.
We do.
Whatever it takes to get niggas to drink water. But
overachieving H2O, man. Sign me up. Like, oh, we drinking the bullshit water? Bad.
That's right. And they sell it
Anything
right in the local
clout.
bodega.
They sure do.
Shout out to Dame Dash. So let me start by saying I love your show. I was introduced by a friend a few months ago and I've been binge listening ever since. Welcome, Essentia.
Welcome, Essentia.
So let me be honest. I'm soft-spoken and reserved in public, but the bedroom is another story.
All right.
I like sex. Essentia, we gave her a name for a reason. I've been in a committed relationship with the man I want to marry for the past 4 years.
Insatiable. Essentia is insatiable.
It's sensational and moist. I've been in a committed relationship with the man I want to marry for the past 4 years. And in the beginning, the sex was amazing, wild, and very fulfilling.
All right.
Fast forward to today and the shit is whack. Sometimes it's hard for him to stay erect, no pun intended.
Oh, dear.
And when he does get erect, the sex is so quick that I usually have to finish myself.
Oh.
I've been so unpleased that I've even resorted to cheating with an ex to get my fix.
Oh.
Don't judge me. My question is,
Essentia,
how do I tell him that I'm not pleased and that he should get that checked out? And also, when telling him, should I be honest about cheating? Thank you, Essentia.
Essentia, girl, I don't know. I am a truth teller. And I believe that we owe the people who we find ourselves in partnership with, we owe them our truth. And then we have to trust that they are responsible adults and can make their own choices. Because when you lie to somebody, you make a choice for them.
That's it.
And I mean, I understand, honey, get what you need. But if this person is not giving you what you need and it's, bringing you to the place where you have to go somewhere else, then perhaps
you should just go somewhere else.
You should just go somewhere else. And I mean, it doesn't mean that, I don't know. I feel like you should be honest. And I'm not, I don't know, maybe this is not about me telling you how you should proceed in your relationship, whether or not you should. But you asked as far as being honest, I fully believe that you need to sit your partner down and be very truthful. Like, listen, we used to yamin with the yamin, but now you're yamin and not yaminin. And as such, I have had to, go back and get me some yamin from yesteryear. Like, you know what I'm saying? The past. So I think that, and then, y'all can have a conversation. But I don't know, man. What you think, sis?
Ooh. All right, listen, I'm going to keep it all the way funky with you. I once was an Essentia myself.
All right.
Not because I wasn't pleased necessarily physically, but because I knew this ultimately was something that I didn't want. And the thing about it is when when you want something, you want it. That's how I knew Tristan, even though he gets on my last nerve. I knew that's how he was for me because...
Don't talk about my brother. Thank you so much.
That's because, I just knew once it was there, I was like, oh, well, you know what? I don't feel like it. I don't even need to seek elsewhere. So you might need to do some soul searching and figure out why you are staying in a relationship with somebody. I know you have been with him you used committed very loosely. You put them in the quotations yourself.
Dang.
And so you have to you need to be honest with yourself because you don't want to carry these habits into another relationship. And I'm sure it's not just about the sex. I'm sure if the man can't keep himself erect, maybe it's time to sit down and have a conversation and say, okay, is there something that we can talk, like, is there something that you want out of this out as well? Like, you guys talk about the things that you like and you dislike and what you want to bring to the bedroom. And is there a reason why you can't, it's not staying up? Is it a health risk, health issue? Or, is it something that maybe you want more of? Like, what is it? And vice versa. He should also be asking you how you feel about you all's physical intimacy. But stepping out ain't the answer. And that's from somebody who has stepped out. That's not the answer, because that's not where you're going to be fulfilled. That's not where, if what you want is to like live a casual life and go out and get it how you live and like be sexually and physically gratified and like live your best Sex in the City black girl life, ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't string a person along, like Keia said, and not give them the option of staying in something that they may not want to be in, because you are lying and not like, that's not cool. It's not cool when niggas do it, and it's not cool when we do it either.
It's not.
So
did Aisha say that she liked him? Like, she said she was head over heels?
She said,
or am I making that up?
I'm soft-spoken, reserved. I've been in a quote-unquote committed relationship with a man I want to marry for the past 4 years.
Okay.
So, you know what? That's another conversation, too.
Yeah.
Is it, like, you need to, again, this is some conversations you need to have with yourself first. Why do you want to marry this man? Is it out of like complacency and just being comfortable? Because I've been there before as well. And we need to start asking ourselves, do I like the idea of marriage? Do I really love this person? What do I love about this person? All of those are things that you need to know the hard and fast answer to before you get married to somebody. And I don't think you really want this man if something as, you know, if you don't have the loyalty, if we're just gonna keep it all the way funky, and everything I'm saying is with love, so don't take it, it's all with love, but you out here having this man thinking he's in a committed relationship and you're not happy physically, so you like, well, I'm gonna bounce to the next dick. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with that when you're a single woman and you are out here living your best life, but it's just not okay when somebody thinks that they're in a committed relationship with you and you are sharing that intimacy with somebody else. So you need to start having some conversations with yourself, figure out why you're there, why you want to be there, why do you even want to marry this person? And then after that, you need to be honest with him, because after he knows about what you've been doing, he may not want to marry you. And the person that you marry is a person you got to share a whole lot with. And so you should be able to have a conversation about intimate issues. You know, if there are health issues there on why he can't keep it up, y'all need to be talking about that.
Right.
So,
and if you're cheating before you get married,
girl, it's not gonna get better after. It don't change just because you got a piece of paper behind your name. That's a big thing. And changing your name is a motherfucker. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? You
might want to be real clear.
Yeah. You're involving families and loved ones, and that's a big, messy, tangled web. And that's another thing we don't think about a lot when we are out here being selfish and just, you know, getting what we need out of life. A lot of times we don't think about all of the lives and the people intersected that it affects, and how it can just really end up really biting us in the ass in the long run. So...
yeah, Cynthia, you got to be more careful too.
Girl, you got to put the top on your bottle. Okay, so let's move on to the petty peeves.
And I want to be very responsible of the things I say to my sister, because everybody know I can be real petty. P-E to the T-T-Y, honey.
Oh, it's time to put my petty on parade, and it's very petty today.
All right.
It's not a very long petty peeve. I just really want, you know, all of my delivery food services, Seamless, Grubhub, Postmates, Caviar, DoorDash, notify me that if there is a particular location that I've been ordering something off of for some time, and then you all decide to switch it up to another location, that makes me uncomfortable. So I was going to order some jerk chicken from Peppers, right?
Peppers.
Now, the Peppers that delivers to me is, or did deliver to me, was a newer Peppers, and like these niggas got mad sides and they got all kinds of extra shit that the real hood Peppers that I go to don't have. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just options. And I would just be so happy, and I could select my festival and whatever else I want to add to my meal. Well, I go today, and the menu, I mean, it's your same jerk chicken and escovitch fish and all of that, but like I couldn't order no festival. And then I noticed it has some extra shit on it, but it didn't have this. And I noticed that they switched the location to another Peppers that delivers to me, and every Peppers is not created equal. So I'm very irritated that Seamless did not notify me that they were switching my Peppers location. So now I cannot order Festival through my app. While that is a very first world problem, this segment is called Petty Peeves for a reason. And today my peeve was very petty. I was irritated that I could not get Festival because you niggas didn't tell me that a new location delivers to me. And I can't even select the other location that I even wanted in the first place. It even looks better. Anyway,
Dang.
That's it.
Oh. Hey, Sirens.
I know. Brooklyn just, I'm poor. I record at home. I'm poor. So you're going to get all the sounds.
Girl.
You're going to get all the noises from this poor recording.
Oh, my God.
What's your petty peeve?
I have a petty peeve, and it's really petty as well. My petty peeve is the stiletto nail trend because while I feel like they are really pretty to look at, they are not functional. And they just like I've ruined several pairs of my good leggings, my tights, my stock hosiery. And as such, I'm a coffin girl. Like my nail shape is coffin. I've tried to go the stiletto route several times now. Always, very short, like, never for an extended period of time because I just can't you can't pick up things. You just like, they're just not, and as a nail girl, it's really saddens me. But I wish that they were just more, like
functional.
I feel betrayed. Like it's like it's like a relationship you really want it to work, but it's just not meant to be. It's just not conducive for my life. They don't even they break easier. So my compromise is that they are little weapons. My compromise though is I only have one stiletto nail on each hand. So my pinkies, I got a little Coke nail. My pinkies are the stiletto shape, and that gives me my stiletto fix. But I just wish that I didn't have to keep breaking up with stiletto nails. And I know that that's very petty, but that's why this is called the Petty Peeves segment of the show.
That's it. It doesn't have to be rational. And I'm sorry that stiletto nails don't work out for you.
They just don't want to call me back. Like, it's fine. They keep curving me, literally.
Sometimes you're just dodging a bullet, and in this case, you're dodging, I don't know, like potentially stabbing yourself in the asshole. But that is another episode of Getting Grove.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. My nose is itchy. You probably hear all my neck, my bracelets.
My neck and my back.
My neck and my back.
Thank you all for listening, per usual. Shout out to our siblings, Crystal and Kid Fury, for
the
this
GOATs,
Apple
the greatest
feature.
of all time.
This motherfucking Beyonce-esque photo shoot. Like, I was in this house like, yes, niggas, y'all look the fuck good.
The very first thing I saw when I opened the apps this morning, and I was just in my bed like, these niggas, are you kidding? You're just going to be flawless on the App Store? Is that what you're doing?
As Keia said online, Jesus Travion Christ.
I had to call the Lord by his full government name. I had to call him by his whole name.
I was like, not Travion.
Travion. I tell you, when Jesus comes back, when he cracks the sky and he got locks to his back, y'all gonna gag.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be like, I knew the Lord was one of us. Okay?
Yeah. Well, we all know. I hope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus had dreads. So.
Did. Straight up and down.
So I just don't, white people don't come from. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. Shout out to our siblings. Also, Santana and I are back.
Yes, indeed.
For the Culture Catering is coming to DC for
selling out shows left and right, buddy.
You
The
hush
fame,
team typing
I
fast.
can't take it. The fame.
You hush team typing fast.
I cannot
But
take
we're
it.
going to be in the crib or somebody's crib with the dopest dinner party. The Cajun edition, DC edition.
boy.
So we're bringing all of our Cajun favorites with a 4-course wine paired meal. I believe we are halfway sold out. We added another night, so we're halfway sold out. So get on those last few tickets. It's going to be March 23rd and 24th. The 24th still has a few tickets available. You can find all of the information on my social media. And I can't wait to see you all. It's going to be tasty. If you are a vegan or a vegetarian, this ain't the one for you. If you're allergic to seafood, this ain't the one for you.
Go with God.
But you can't come over here. Not this time. All the love, though. Do you have any announcements, sis?
I do not this week, but I will next week.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be lit, guys.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to slither my way into all of Kia's luggage for her events. It's great. I just weasel my way into some sort of position, but I will be wherever. Anyway,
Always welcome, sis.
thank you. I will always be there. I'll be there.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bid you a fond farewell.
We are.
Thank you so much for listening, as always. And remember to drink your water, mind your business, the business that the Lord gave you, and moisturize. Why, sis?
Because your black will crack in this cold ass wind if it's dry.
And listen, ladies, please put your name and address on your wigs because the wind is coming for them.
Man, you better secure them things or wear a hat that day.
Secure. You got to secure your wig. And if it does get away from you, just put your name and address so the girls will know where to send it back. Okay?
A tag.
Good night.
Good night.
Mercari is a selling app that makes it fast and easy to sell almost anything. You just take a few pics, add a description, and boom, your item is listed. With buyers in all 50 states, stuff really sells and everything ships easily, so there are never any awkward meetups. You can find Mercari on the app stores or on Mercari.com. That's Mercari, Mercari.